Thanks for clicking on the video. Hit the subscribe button for more weekly content and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a thing. Yikes! It really had been 2 years since part 3, huh? Let's get back into it. What's good, peeps? What's poppin'? How are you doing? And welcome to part 4 of our ongoing series, What If Koichi Joined Since the Beginning? As my favorite season of Digimon, Digimon Frontiers switches up the formula that the previous 3 seasons have operated on. Human children become Digimon, taking on the mantles of legendary warriors to prevent the startup of a war that took place millennia ago. The characters, minus JP, are some of my favorites in all of Digimon. One particular character that's the focus of this series is Koichi, Koji's long-lost twin brother with a complicated connection with the spirit of darkness. Just like we did with Jerry in an ongoing Digimon Tamers What If, we've inserted Koichi into the Frontier team since the beginning, culminating in a series of events that picking back up right now. If this video receives 20 likes, that'll let me know you also want things to continue into part 5. Let's begin. The air inside Sakakumon was thick with shadows, each one twisting, breathing, alive with dark energy that seemed to pulse with cruel intent. The labyrinthine walls reached out to ensnare Koji and Koichi, their inky tendrils reaching into the core of their fears and insecurities. Within this unnatural silence, only the beating of their own hearts reminded them that they were still themselves. For every step, every shadow corner seemed to pull out their very essence, exposing vulnerabilities that they had long tried to bury. Koji pressed forward, his steps tentative yet purposeful, his form tense and ready for any attack. In this unfamiliar world, his footsteps seemed to echo endlessly, bouncing off unseen walls. Lobamon, the mighty warrior of light, felt alone and small in the vast, stifling emptiness. Each step took him deeper into the shadows, where an eerie quiet enveloped him. He kept his sword drawn, feeling a prickle of tension at the back of his neck. Then, soft whispers floated to him, faint but unmistakable. Alone. Always alone. You were never meant to be here. The words slithered around him, soaking into his very skin. He tried to shake them off, to let them fall away like rain, but the whispers only grew louder, each one piercing his defenses. No one needs you. They're better off without you. Koji's hands tightened around the hilt of his sword as he felt a chill creep over him. The silence returned, heavy and oppressive. But then, from the shadows, a figure began to emerge. Tall, thin, and draped in black and red robes. The figure's eyes gleamed an unnatural red, like twin embers of malice. His form shifted and shimmered, giving him an ethereal, otherworldly quality. The figure spoke, his tone smooth and dark. Allow me to introduce myself once more. I am Felismon, your guide through despair. Koji swallowed, his throat dry. He took a step forward, instinctively drawing his swords up in a defensive stance. But Felismon merely smirked, an infuriating expression that chilled Koji's very bones. There's nothing you can do against me, Felismon sneered, waving a hand lazily. A shimmering, large mirror appeared before Lobamon, the surface glowing with an unnatural light. Koji blinked, surprised. Once again in the mirror's reflection, he saw his family back in the real world. There was his mother, his father, and Koichi, all gathered together. They sat at a table, laughing and talking, the atmosphere warm and full of the joy Koji had always longed for. His heart skipped a beat as he drank in the scene, feeling a pang of longing and isolation so deep that it momentarily paralyzed him. Beautiful, isn't it? Felismon taunted, his voice low and mocking. Look at them, your family, so content and whole, complete without you. Koji's hands shook as he stared at the mirror. Words caught in his throat. Memories of loneliness and frustration surfaced, his nights wishing for the comfort of family, yearning to belong to a family who understood him. The mirror's scene reflected all the warmth he had never felt, now a cruel reminder of his absence from it. Shut up! Lobamon yelled, his voice betraying a tremble. But even as he tried to turn away, he found himself rooted to the spot, unable to pull his gaze from the image. The reflection continued, showing his family at happy dinners, laughter-filled afternoons, family vacations, moments he had always dreamed of, but had never known. It was everything he wanted, everything he tried to protect by fighting as Lobamon, Yet there, in the mirror, they seemed happier without him. They never needed you, Felismon murmured, taking pleasure in every word. You were the problem, the son who abandoned them, the brother who barely showed up. See, they're better off because you're gone. Koji's grip slackened, his sword now too heavy to hold. A surge of doubt clouded his mind, each accusation echoing Felismon's words. His breath grew shallow, heart pounding painfully in his chest. Felismon could sense his weakness, drifting closer as his voice curled around Koji like a snake. Why fight for a world that doesn't even need you? You're nothing but a shadow that they've forgotten. Koji's jaw clenched, a hint of fire returning to his gaze, but it flickered, weakened by the onslaught of his own insecurities. The mirror's image held him captive, showing him the life he would never have. His heart wavered, and for a moment, he wondered if Felismon was right, truly so easily forgotten. Had he been replaced in the family he had fought so hard to protect? Meanwhile, in the steel area, Koichi, or Loamon, faced his own test. The air around him hummed with an unnatural resonance, a metallic timbre that felt like an eerie, invisible cage closing in. He tightened his stance, scanning his surroundings, every surface reflecting distorted versions of himself and his insecurities. A wisp of a shadow, barely clinging to existence. The warrior of steel flickered from one polished surface to the next, his voice tinged with a cruel, elegant amusement. Art thou truly one of them? Mercurymon's voice mocked. The others, the legendary warriors, they don't see thee as an equal. Why else did thine own brother keep you at a distance? The words cut deeper than any physical blow. Loamon faltered, his form wavering as the accusations sank in. For all his strength, the core of him, Koichi, was sensitive to the isolation he had faced for so long. He had fought so hard to join the others, to find his place among them. But Mercurymon's taunt struck at the heart of his deepest fears. You don't know what you're talking about! Koichi's voice wavered, defiant yet uncertain. Mercurymon's laughter echoed through the area, sharp and biting. Oh, don't die, Mercurymon chuckled. Then look around. See the truth for thyself. With a flourish, Mercurymon gestured to the mirrors surrounding them, each one illuminating with scenes from the past. The DigiDestined's journey unfolded in these reflections. Their first meeting, their battles, their moments of joy and friendship. Koichi watched, horrified, as the memories played out, each one a stark reminder that he hadn't been there. He wasn't in any of the memories. No victories to share, no laughter to join in, no camaraderie. The mirror seemed to mock him, reflecting a life he had only recently begun to taste, but had never truly belonged to. The scenes played on, casting him out from the very moment that mattered. They do not need thee, Mercurymon said with finality, his tone smug and unfeeling. You are a stranger, an intruder in their world. Loamon clenched his fist, his body trembling under the weight of these realizations. The loneliness he had hidden for so long surfaced, raw and consuming, a pain that he thought he had left behind when he joined the legendary warriors. But here, in this twisted realm of mirrors, Mercurymon was forcing him to confront the possibility that he had never belonged to their team, never truly been one of them. No, Koichi whispered, his voice almost too quiet to hear, as if fearing the truth he was forced to confront. The mirror continued to play out the scenes of laughter and shared victories, a taunting reminder of his absence. His resolve crumbled, and he wondered if Mercurymon was right. Was he truly just a shadow, doomed to stand alone? Outside of Sukakumon, the legendary warriors huddled together, watching the struggle unfold within the translucent walls. Koji and Koichi's forms flickered, barely visible through the dark energy swirling inside. Their faces were tense, their bodies still as if held captive by invisible chains. They're in too much pain, Tommy murmured, his eyes wide with worry. It's like they're fighting themselves. If only we can help them somehow, Zoe whispered, clenching her fists in frustration. Just then, a warm golden light appeared nearby, illuminating the shadows. Seraphimon and Sorceremon stepped forward, radiant figures of power and wisdom, their expressions serene yet focused. Seraphimon! Sorceremon! Takuya exclaimed, hope lighting his face. Can you help them? Seraphimon regarded the group with calm assurance, his voice gentle yet firm. The path they walk is one they must face alone, but we can lend them strength, a reminder of who they truly are. With quiet resolve, Seraphimon extended his hands, focusing his energy. Streams of luminous power coursed through them, focusing into Sakakumon's walls and piercing through the darkness within. Koji and Koichi's forms began to glow, bathed in the comforting light that seeped into their souls, grounding them. Inside, Koji felt the light reach him, wrapping around him with a familiar warmth, a strength that pushed away the shadows. The words of Seraphimon resounded in his heart, a reminder of the light he held within, his detector pulsing in response, resonating with the energy of Seraphimon's gift. He felt something deep within him shift, unlocking a power he had never known. Velasmon! Don't ever talk to me as if you know me! My family, they're my foundation, my reason for fighting! They would never forget about me, nor would I turn my back on them! I am the warrior of light! Their light! Execute! Fusion! Evolution! Koji's voice rang out, filled with clarity. Light exploded around him, enveloping Lobomon in a transformative glow. His form grew, shifting as he ascended to Beowulfmon, a figure of purity, strength, and resilience. The doubts that had clung to him were gone, replaced with an unshakable resolve. He was the warrior of light, and he would not be defeated by shadows. Velasmon! Beowulfmon's voice echoed, strong and unwavering. Your lies no longer hold any power over me. Velasmon recoiled, the smirk vanishing from his face as fear crept into his eyes. Beowulfmon wasted no time, his form a beacon of light as he surged forward, weapons blazing. Rosen Hunter! Beowulfmon called, unleashing a torrent of icy light that shattered Velasmon, breaking him into nothingness. Meanwhile, Koichi also felt Seraphimon's power coursing through him. Though his beast spirit was still out of reach, the detector responded to Seraphimon's gift, granting him a temporary evolution beyond his current form. The shadows are a reflection of what's in the present, not the past. Your taunts will no longer work, Mercurymon. Darkness absorbs everything. I have the strength of my friends inside me. Execute! Fusion! Evolution! Koichi's voice resonated through the steel area, strong and unbroken. Darkness enveloped him, shifting and molding until he emerged as Ryamon, a figure cloaked in shadows, yet brimming with strength and determination. The doubts that Mercurymon had cast upon him were gone, replaced with a renewed sense of purpose. He knew where he belonged. Mercurymon! Ryamon's voice cut through the air. Your illusions cannot bind me. I know who I am. Mercurymon stumbled back, shock widening as Ryamon raised his weapon, channeling all his strength into a decisive strike. Black Field! A dark energy surged forward, crashing into Mercurymon with incalculable force. Mercurymon shattered, his mocking voice silenced forever. Ryamon stood tall, his breath steady and victorious. With their enemies defeated, a bright light engulfed the twins, pulling them from Sakakumon's grasp and releasing them back outside. They stumbled into the open air, where the rest of the legendary warriors awaited them, faces alight with relief. You did it! Both of you! Zoe cried, relief softening her smile. Thank goodness you're okay! Tommy said, his voice full of warmth. But before they could fully celebrate, the ground beneath them trembled violently. Sakakumon, devoid of the spirits that had once sustained him, began to twist and contort, his massive form unraveling into chaos. His dark energy thrashed outward, each pulse shaking the earth. Something's happening! It's like he's falling apart! Koji said, his gaze focused on the towering figure. We can't let him go berserk! Takuya yelled. He'll destroy everything around us! Then piercing through the cacophony, a sharp, chilling screech cut through the air. The legendary warriors turned in horror to see Velgamon descending, his monstrous, corrupted form alive with rage. His eyes blazed as he fixed them with a deadly stare. You thought you could escape me! Velgamon's voice was a growl, thick with malice. Now you have no true despair! The legendary warriors squared their shoulders, forming a defensive line. This battle would test them like no other, but with the strength of their bond, they knew that they could face any darkness that lay ahead. Together, we can take them down! Takuya called, his voice a rallying cry. Let's show them what the legendary warriors are made of! With newfound courage and the strength of unity, they prepare for an epic showdown, ready to confront the darkness head on. And that's where this part will end for today. I think some heat is definitely in store for future parts. Thanks to you guys voting 2 years ago, everyone on the team will now have access to Fusion Evolution. Will they all receive it in the next part? You'll have to stay tuned next week to find out. Also, I know that Koichi doesn't have his Beast Spirit to fully make use of Fusion Evolution, but that's why I made it temporary, until Velgamon is defeated once and for all. But what do you all think? How will everyone getting Fusion Evolution alter the course of the story? Will that make Aldemon and Beowulfmon obsolete? Or will the scale simply tip in their favor? Let me know your theories in the comments below, and let me know what other Digimon what ifs you would like to see come to life in the future. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye!